So we'll move into bed maintenance. We'll talk about weeding real quick. I think most people fail with weeding because they just don't schedule to do it. It just has to be on kind of your weekly schedule. I know I kind of tackle weeds in the landscape bed at the same time I mow the grass. So it's just I do it all one time. I mow my yard, I check the landscape for weeds, and then I'm done. Or check the landscape for weeds. So it's just having that consistent schedule of hand weeding. You're going to go through quickly, just identify the larger weeds, pop those out, and have a herbicide sprayer ready to go with Roundup that you can just spot spray the small weeds, and within a day or two they're toast. So pre-emergent, which we'll get into here in a minute, is also about a 90% weed kill.
So that stuff won't kill any of your plants or flowers or anything in the bed?
Need to read the label.
Yeah.
However, I'll tell you what I do know about pre-emergent. We'll go into this in a minute, because the pre-emergent is any kind of daffodil or any kind of bulb flower, tulips. It won't kill that plant, but what it'll do is it'll prevent it from blooming. All the foliage will come up, but it will not bloom. This slide looks very similar to the other one, but it's a different product. This one's labeled for landscape use, not for turf. It's called Snapshot. You can buy this. It's not restricted. It is a little bit expensive, but it'll go a long way, and it has a good shelf life. So doesn't take a whole lot either. So it's a granular that you cast out in the landscape. Read the label as far as application timing, but typically about every 2 to 3 months. So you're looking at 4 to 6 times a year. What's going to happen is it'll create that layer in the soil again in the landscape, and as seeds germinate, you're really going to reduce your population by about 90% by doing this. And it has on the label plants that it's safe for. But I do know that we had some guys at the president's home several years ago, before they sold the president's house. We had a huge bed of daffodils, and the guys put a Snapshot out, and this was before I knew that it would affect the bulbs. I didn't know this. And we had one bloom out of about 1,000 plants. The year before, we had plenty of blooms, so we scratched our heads, and it took about 3 or 4 people on the ag campus to help me out with that problem. And they finally said, well, do you use a pre-emergent? Yeah. And so we did it. So anyway, you can certainly use the pre-emergent in those beds where you planted tulips, but once you see the leaf emerge, then you need to stop. Post-emergent in the landscape, you really kind of dive into a real problem. There are no broadleaf herbicides on the market that you can spray over the top of your plant material. You're gonna injure your plant material or kill it. Now, if you have liriope, which everybody kind of knows as monkey grass, or you have other ground covers, there are herbicides out there that you can use to spray over top of those ground covers that will aid in control of nutsedge, if you're familiar with nutsedge, or just grass. If you have grass or Bermuda grass growing in the landscape, there are some specific herbicides to control that. All right, mulching. I'll just go ahead. I may be preaching to the choir here, but mulching aids in weed control, obviously, by smothering out the weed. Helps with water retention. Helps protect the root zone of the plant from extreme temperature changes, whether that's extreme cold or extreme heat. Obviously, everybody loves new mulch because it makes everything look pretty. But if you have if you're installing a whole new landscape and you're putting mulch down on just bare soil, you want to put a good 3-inch application. But a lot of people pile on the mulch every year after year, and that mulch does not break down that quickly. You really just need to go back in on an annual basis and just do a dusting, no more than 1 inch. Because if you apply too much, you're just building way too much mulch onto that root zone. That mulch is actually going to absorb rainfall and rain, therefore stopping water from penetrating into the soil. So you want to keep it kind of on a thinner application year after year.